What if a werewolf marked you? And there was no way to run. I never should have come here. The monastery was a ruin, swallowed by mist, forgotten by time. The locals warned me. They spoke in hushed voices, refusing to say too much. They were afraid. But I was a man of reason, a scholar. Superstition had no place in my research. At least that's what I believed. Before the first howl shattered the silence, before I realized something was watching me, I came to the Carpathian Mountains to investigate an old monastery. Its history lost to time, its walls carved with warnings no one could decipher. I thought I was chasing a legend, a myth. But then I found the village, or what was left of it. The homes were empty, doors torn from their hinges, deep claw marks gouged into the wood, bloodstains on the ground, long since dried, no bodies, just the stench of something that had been here, something that had fed. Then, from the shadows, a survivor emerged, gaunt, wild-eyed, a man who should have been dead. His voice trembled as he whispered, "It has chosen you." I didn't understand. Not yet. But I would. I had until the next full moon to escape, or become the next hunter. The monastery stood on a hill, its crumbling towers piercing the sky. The deeper I ventured, the more I realized this wasn't just a place of worship. It was something else, a prison. I traced my fingers over the ancient carvings, strange symbols, warnings in a language long forgotten. And then the door creaked behind me. I turned. Nothing there, but I wasn't alone. The air was thick with something unnatural, a presence, a hunger. And then I saw them, the claw marks, not centuries old, but fresh, deep. A reminder that whatever haunted this place was still here. The legends spoke of a curse, of men who walked as beasts beneath the full moon. I didn't believe it, until the howl came again, closer this time, too close. I felt it before I saw it. A presence, watching, waiting. My breath fogged in the cold air. I turned my flashlight toward the broken archway, the beam slicing through the mist. Nothing. Then came the sound. Claws scraping against stone. I backed away, heart pounding. The carvings, the warnings, the survivor's last words, all of it pointed to one thing. This was no myth. And then it moved, a blur of motion, a shape impossibly fast. For a single, horrifying second, I saw it. A form, half human, half beast, its eyes burning like embers. I barely had time to react before the pain hit. Claws ripped through my coat, into my flesh. I hit the ground hard, the cold stone biting into my skin. My blood dripped onto the floor, steaming in the frigid air. And then just like that, it was gone. But the damage was done. A burning heat spread from the wound, creeping through my veins like wildfire. And deep inside me, something stirred. I pressed my hand against the wound. It wasn't just a scratch. It was a mark. The fever took hold fast. My breath was sharp, my skin clammy, my senses wrong. I could hear things I shouldn't. The distant rustling of trees, the heartbeat of a bird in the rafters, the low guttural breathing of something in the darkness. It was inside me now. I had read the stories. How the bite or claw of the beast wasn't just an attack. It was an invitation. The monastery's carvings had told a story older than time, of men who became monsters beneath the full moon, of hunters who became the hunted. It wasn't just legend, it was a cycle. And I was next. I ran, through the ruins, through the mist. My body felt wrong, my steps too fast, my vision too sharp. The fever burned hotter, my heartbeat thundering in my ears. And then, I heard footsteps, not my own. Something was following me. I pressed myself against the cold stone, struggling to stay silent. The shadows shifted. The air turned thick with something ancient. A voice. Not quite human, not quite beast. Slithered through the darkness. You were chosen. The figure emerged, towering, twisted, a nightmare made flesh. And in its glowing eyes, I saw something that shattered me. Recognition. It had once been like me, and now it was waiting for me to take its place. I collapsed, my body no longer my own. Pain twisted through me, my muscles tightening, my fingers curling into claws. I gasped for air, but it wasn't air I craved. The beast watched, patient, knowing. It had been here before. It had fought. It had lost. Now, it was my turn. The monastery wasn't a ruin. It was a trap, a place where the cursed waited for their replacements. And as the full moon rose, as my mind began to unravel, I understood. I was no longer the hunted. I was the hunter. And when the next traveler arrived, drawn in by whispers of an ancient legend, I would be waiting. No one ever found me. No records, no trace, just another name lost to the mist. But the monastery remains, a place of silence, of warnings carved into stone, of things that should not be. And on certain nights, when the wind is still and the world is quiet, the howl begins again, a howl that doesn't belong to any wolf. So I have to ask, do you believe in curses, or would you rather walk into the mist and find out for yourself? Because if you listen closely, something might be listening back.